Good day. I'm going to define some terminology so you understand what I'm saying. I noticed some people are misinterpreting my videos and trying to contradict me or negate things that I've said in the comments section, and I can glance at a lot of these comments and see that these people have misunderstood me, or they just didn't pick up on something that I've said. So hopefully this video will reduce the chances of that happening, and also hopefully you will understand what I'm saying a bit better if you're not one of those people that leaves those comments. So these are actually pretty fundamental terms to understand and know when you're talking about astral projection in a somewhat explicit manner. I actually think a lot about which terms I should use because there aren't sufficient terminology built into the concept of astral projection, like default terms that everybody's aware of if they're into astral projection. There's not enough in there to describe things in a explicit way. So I often have to use terms like Robert Monroe's terms or Robert Bruce's terms because they help me describe things. And the only thing about those terms is that if you haven't read their books, you don't understand the terms, a lot of them. Especially Robert Monroe's terms, because they are not really descriptive, like the locales, for instance. So I'm going to be using, from now on, Robert Bruce's terms only, because nobody understands the locales. I just use locales because I'm a huge fan of Robert Monroe. He's my favorite person on out-of-body experiences. Unfortunately, I can't use those terms because nobody understands them, and also locales imply that these different states of being are characterized by being in a distinct place, the word locale, and I don't think that's how it is. So I'm going to go with Robert Bruce's terms. So the first term is the real-time zone. This is an aspect of the astral plane where the physical universe is directly observable, and it has been coined by Robert Bruce. It's the same thing as the term locale 1, which has been coined by Robert Monroe. You can also see it as being slightly out of phase with the physical universe. And I will be saying RTZ for short. The next term is locale 2, and this is an aspect of the astral plane that is mostly immaterial. And this term has been coined by Robert Monroe. It is also known as the Nonphysical Dimensions by Robert Bruce. I'm actually going to be using that term, non-physical dimensions. I just decided to use it a couple minutes ago because it makes more sense. It's actually somewhat describes what the state of being is all about. Whereas locale 2, not so much. And also Robert Monroe contradicts the concept of locale 2 in his second or third book. I forget which one, but he calls it a misconception or something along those lines. Locale 2 can also be seen as mostly out of phase with the physical universe. The next term is entity, sometimes used as another term for immaterial being. I will be using it as another word for being, like you and I can be entities, for instance. The next term is ident. Ident is a mental address for a person, place, or thing on the astral plane. This term has been coined by Robert Monroe, and it is short for identifier. And that's it for the terms. See you later.